NTD spoke with residents at a park in Del Rio, Texas. The city has a population of about 35,000 people. We asked them how they feel about the upcoming caravan of migrants approaching the southern border.
We have so many people coming through. We don't know where they're going, what they're doing, what they want. It just feels unsafe, especially the whole border.
Carlos is a paramedic in Del Rio, and he said they were overwhelmed during the last surge of immigrants at the border.
It feels a bit safer now that they're gone, especially with the state troopers that staying here in town, so it feels like they're securing the area. But that was 15 grand. Now there's talks of a possibly bigger caravan that's coming. And we had trouble with that at that time. I just can't imagine what's going to happen when the bigger one comes in.
Another Del Rio resident sees it differently.
I don't feel it's not scary or nothing. I mean, they're human beings trying to come and make a living also.
Okay.
I mean, we all should have a chance at get better in our lives.
But he says the federal government should have thought of a better plan than letting so many people come all at once.
We've always been taught to help each other, but you know, if people are doing it the wrong way, they're doing it the wrong way, and if people are coming the right way, they're coming the right way. But the way it is now it's gotten worse, but it's something we're already accustomed to, something we're already used to. It should get better. We hope it gets better.
Juan also said that he and his family look out for each other, and if something happens on his side of town, he lets his family on the other side of town know, and they do the same for him. Jason Perry, NTD News, Texas.
That is just an update on how people feel about what's happening at the border. Those people actually lived on border town, and what they saw. You saw the Carlos, the paramedic. I think they said he was. He said there was 15,000 people that they had to deal with as far as an influx. In October of this year, just a couple days ago, October saw 400,000 immigrants crossing the border. So what Carlos is talking about, he's talking about just a piece of the 400,000 immigrants crossing the border just last month. The current caravan, which they don't necessarily mention in this in that little piece there, the current caravan that's on its way here is roughly 400,000. 400,000 people from Central and South America, as well as Haitian. And you saw the images on one of my past shows. The Haitian immigrants, just the Haitian immigrants that were underneath that bridge in Texas. They had to make a community, an actual little village of Haitian immigrants. They had no place to go. So they started making huts and moving along, as the sun moved along, the large sea of people would kind of move along with it, trying to stay in the shade. It just absolute madness. Thanks for joining me. Ada Jet Noise on Rumble, on Facebook, YouTube. Thanks for joining me. Please hit me up, subscribe. You do not have to pay to subscribe. For those of you that still believe that the word subscribe means you pay, you have to pay. You do not have to pay to subscribe on YouTube and on most channels, most personalities. Little endeavors on YouTube and on Rumble. And on Rumble, please give me a punch. Give me a punch. There's a little boxing glove on Rumble. If you dig what I'm saying, or if you don't dig what I'm saying, let me know. Get thumbs up, thumbs down, plus, minus, or punch. Give me a Rumble. You'll see the little boxing glove on Rumble. yeah, give me a punch uh, on Rumble. The caravan, as you can see behind me, there is a little sign that says 400,000 for illegals. $400,000 for illegals. What is being talked about now is paying the illegal immigrants for pain and suffering. $450,000 per illegal, and that's not per family. The pain and suffering, you're saying, where's that coming from? Well, they're talking about families that may have crossed the border, that did cross the border, and their children were separated from them. Now, if you don't understand, if you are still living in the dark and wondering why the children are separated from the family members and what have you, they're separated by the United States because not every child that crosses the border with an adult belongs to that adult. Now, I've explained this. I've explained this 1,000 times, and I'm sure you've heard this explained as well from other places. But is it sinking in? Is it sinking in? The children that you would see in the cages that everybody was always, I'm sorry. They only complain. Everyone only complains when a Republican's in office that there's children in cages. But when there's a Democrat in office, and the children in cages don't seem to matter. Those children that are separated from the adults that cross the border, many times, most of the time, do not belong to the adults, to those adults. They get separated. Those adults are told, this is how you will get your child back. And those people just disappear into the system. And what I mean by the system is the adults just disappear into they're given court dates where there's a hearing about your legal status, you being okay to legally stay in the United States. But of course, most of those people do not show up for those hearings, and those children, they're not coming back for those children because most of the time those children do not belong to them. They're used as props. They're used because the United States is more sympathetic about letting a family cross the border, or something that looks like a family cross the border in an illegal situation than not. More sympathetic than not when it comes to families crossing the border. So then the kids are. You're saying you might ask where they get those children. Well, where are they getting those children? They're getting those children from human traffickers. Those kids are slaves. Those kids are actually being human trafficked. That's why you hear about, rape and abuse. And if you haven't heard about that, that's incredibly unfortunate that you're living in that little bubble. But indeed, these children are being human trafficked. They are slaves to the system, to a system. And now we're talking about paying people that cross the border illegally $450,000. And that can grow. And again, that $450,000 would not be per family. It would be per person in a family. A family of 6 let's just be fair here. A legitimate family of 6, mother, father, and 4 children. If the children were separated and mom and dad had a hard time of accepting their separation, despite them not necessarily legally being here, in fact, illegally being here, that family would receive what they're talking about now is the $450,000 per person. That money is not illegal immigrant money. That money is not donated money. That money does not grow on trees. That money is your money. We pay for it. United States citizens pay for it. I'm going to play something for you that happened last month. I think I played this before, but I just wanted you to hear another angle on this.
Why is it that you're trying to require anybody with a job or anybody who goes to school to get the COVID-19 vaccine, but you are not requiring that of migrants that continue walking across the southern border into the country?
Well, look, our objective is to get as many people vaccinated across the country as humanly possible. And so the president's announcement yesterday was an effort to empower businesses, to give businesses the tools to protect their workforces. That's exactly what we did. But certainly we want everybody to get vaccinated, and more people are vaccinated, whether they are migrants or whether they are workers, protects more people in the United States.
Listen.
It's a requirement for people at a business with more than 100 people. It is not a requirement for migrants at the southern border. Why?
That's correct. Go ahead.
That was it. That was it. You would think that I cut it off, but Jen Psaki, Raggedy Ann, whatever you want to call her, Peppermint Patty, whatever you want to call her, that was it. Of course, there's Peter Doocy giving her, a significant question, an important question that Americans need answered. And she just simply said, after he said, it's required for Americans, workers, schools, what have you, to get the vaccine, or quote unquote vaccine, it is required for them to get the shot, but not required by illegal immigrants. So, once again, $450,000 per person if you come across the border illegally and you can convince them that you suffered pain and anguish or what have you, because your family was separated for some period of time. You received some sort of mental abuse, if you will. You get $450,000. As well as you could lose your job. You may have to quit your job. You will be burdened as an American citizen if you don't get the shot. Something that they don't have to worry about. Now, earlier this year, they kept telling you that it is that the any surge that was happening as far as the pandemic was concerned, any surge was because of the unvaccinated. Now, study after study after study after study is letting you know how leaky that shot is. That's why you're getting boosters. They're talking about boosters like now. In fact, they've okayed boosters for the senior citizens at this point. And in case you were wondering, they've okayed some of the shots for 5 to 11-year-olds at this point. If you're getting your shot for a 5 or 11-year-old, I quick side note. The survival rate for people 60 and over of this sickness, the survival rate is 99%. For 60 and over, the most affected group, 60 plus, the survival rate is 99%. The survival rate for let's go 55 to 20 is even higher. How much higher can you go to 99%? 20 below, specifically a group 11 to 5 is highest of all. So 99%, then you're talking what, 99.3%, and then there's what, 99.8%? Mortality for children 11 to 5 is like 0.003, 0.002. So putting a strange substance in your toddler to preteen is completely confusing. If you're okay with it, it's completely confusing to me. You have no idea. You have no idea what is in that thing. It hasn't even been approved. But you're letting someone put, good heavens. It's the strangest thing I've ever heard. And I've heard the argument, well, it's still a chance. Do you not get in your car every single day? Chances are far higher of strapping your kid in a car seat and them getting hurt there. All right, got off on a tangent. Illegals. Let's let me get back on track. Let me show you this darling little video. It is a clip of the current surge happening. This happened, I believe, 2 weeks ago. Those are Mexican police, federales, I guess, if you will. And they are set up to stop that caravan. And you can see the success rate of which that is happening in. They set up a barricade with shields, riot shields, helmets, what have you. And this is what they got out of that. That barricade lasted roughly 3 seconds. Roughly 3 seconds. And in 1 second, it started to back up before it was breached. So back up before it's breached. Yes, yeah, that is. And that is only scratching the surface of the current caravan. There's no stopping it. $400,000 people expected to reach the border within a day's, or I should say, all at once on a given day, coming up soon. You're crossing through Mexico right now. They do not have to get a shot. Meanwhile, all your friends and family are demanding that everyone get the shot to keep everyone safe. But at this point, we've let 400,000 people in last year. I should say last month, October 2021. And we are about to let 400,000 people come through all like within a day. All in a day's time. Or there will be an upcoming day where there will be roughly 400,000 people ready to come into the United States. So we're talking about almost 1 million people just in 2 months. If not 1 million people within 2 months. You can guarantee that most of them do not have your precious shot. Once again, people are losing their jobs. Good nurses, firefighters, EMS, police officers, all people that were out there in the front. Your store clerks, all people that were out there in front of all of this worked while the unknown was happening. And now they're losing their jobs. Those same people losing their jobs because of your precious shot. These people will not have to take that shot, and they will get 450,000. They're talking up to a 450,000. It could change. It could get larger. Who knows? 500,000, $1 million per person. Who knows? All your tax dollars. And you want how are we okay with this? Since I was in the air last, I don't even really have to say it since I was in the air last. Yesterday, the Terry McAuliffe won Virginia. I think the New Jersey race is far, far closer than any with the Republican is far, far closer in a very, very, very blue state, a very Biden-friendly state. Is far, far close. So even in the loss, that's a massive signal that people are on to what's going on. And this is one of those things. The border is a massive problem. And it's being not necessarily ignored, but it keeps getting put on the back burner. A lot of things going on. Prices, supply chain, the nonsense of these mandates. But the border is going to hit us again. And no one is willing to do anything about it. Right now, not enough Americans are willing to go back to work. And we're taking several million people in that aren't supposed to be here. What is your breaking point? What is your breaking point? In coming days, we're going to talk about the rape in the Loudoun County restroom, because there's updates on that. Now we can't call him transgender. We're going to call him androgynous. You'll see why we called the rapist androgynous in the coming days. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what went on with the election, because that's important. Because the signal has been, the warning shot has been fired by the voters. They see what's happening with the Biden administration. You know, the worst part about all of this horrible thing, all of the horrible things that are happening in the country right now, is that we haven't even gone 1 year with the Biden administration. Think about that. We haven't even gone 1 year. My biggest concern when it comes to all that is they will lull you to sleep starting at the end of 2022 by giving you all kinds of darling things, like maybe concerts at the White House, Dave Grohl will be there, Cher, and I'm sure some sort of like Cardi B. They're all going to do darling concerts and give you all these wonderful things, and you will lull you to sleep, and you will forget what happened in 2021, and that will be disgusting. This is horrifying. The prices are going to go up in stores. They've already gone up more than 40%. In many cases, supply chain is crap. Our children are being abused. If you're white, your children are being told that there's nothing they can do, they're just simply racist. And if they're black, they're being told that you can't make it because you're black. And then the border. $450,000 per person. Two illegals, two people that aren't even supposed to be here. That's your money. What is your breaking point? We know in Loudoun County their breaking point was that their kids are being abused in the schools. Mentally abused, indoctrinated, brainwashed. That was the Loudoun County breaking point. Will they keep it up? I don't know. Loudoun County is not necessarily a red county that is necessarily like rah America. But they are Americans and they feel the nonsense. That was their breaking point. Don't screw with their kids. Borders. Don't forget about the borders. What is your breaking point? Ada Jet Noise. ADA Jet Noise as spelled. Rumble, Facebook, YouTube. On Rumble, look for the little boxing glove. Give me a punch. Let them know you like me. Facebook, please subscribe. You don't pay for anything. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know what you're thinking. Ada Jet Noise. Until next time, big hug, be good, be still. Enjoy your life.